The call came at 3:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. I know because I'd been awake, staring at quarterly projections for our new serum line, with Astrid purring on my lap. My Persian cat always knew when I couldn't sleep. She'd been mine since I was 12, though mother claimed her as the family cat when it suited her image. Miss Whitmore? This is Cedar Sinai. Your mother, Evelyn Whitmore, has been admitted. She's stable, but you should come. Stable, that word would haunt me for weeks. I threw on the Balenciaga coat mother gifted me last Christmas. The one she said made me look almost as polished as Chloe, and drove through empty Los Angeles streets. My hands shook on the steering wheel, not from fear, from something darker. Relief maybe? God, what kind of daughter feels relief when her mother has a stroke? The kind who's been her mother's unpaid strategist for 20 years while watching her sister get crowned for simply existing. When I arrived, Chloe was already there. Of course, camera ready at 4 a.m. Her blonde extensions perfect, dabbing at dry eyes with a tissue. She'd probably called her publicist before calling an Uber. Sophie, she breathed, running to embrace me. Thank God you're here. I've been so scared. Her breath smelled like wine and Xanax. I hugged her back, playing the role. Always playing the role.
Where is she?
Room 4012. They're running more tests. The lawyers are here too. The lawyers, my spine straightened. Why are the lawyers here? Chloe's eyes, those perfect green contacts she thought I didn't know about, shifted. Oh, you know, mother. Even from a hospital bed, she's thinking about the company. She made some adjustments for stability, adjustments. At 4 a.m. while sedated. Mother looked small in that hospital bed. Evelyn Whitmore, who built a $500 million wellness empire from her kitchen table, who made grown men cry in boardrooms, who taught me that kindness was just weakness with lipstick on. Small. The lawyers Davidson and Klein stood at her bedside with tablets and documents. Mother's eyes were glazed, pupils dilated from whatever cocktail they'd given her. Sophie, darling, she slurred, reaching for my hand. Her grip was weak. I've fixed everything. The company will be safe now. What did you fix, mother? Davidson cleared his throat. Mrs. Whitmore has restructured the succession plan. Given the medical emergency and need for immediate stable leadership, she's appointed Chloe as primary successor and CEO-elect, effective immediately. You'll maintain an advisory role, of course. Advisory role. 20 years of 80-hour weeks. 20 years of building every successful product line while Chloe posted Instagram stories from Mykonos. Advisory role. When did she sign this? 2 hours ago. I looked at the monitors. Her morphine drip timestamp, 1:58 a.m. The document timestamp, 2:14 a.m. She was lucid, Davidson added quickly. Too quickly. Chloe squeezed my shoulder. Sophie, don't make this about us. Mother needs stability right now. The board meets tomorrow to ratify everything. We need to show unity. Unity. While she stole my birthright in a hospital room, I smiled. The same smile I'd perfected in mirrors since childhood. Of course, whatever's best for the company. But my mind was already 3 moves ahead. Because Evelyn Whitmore wasn't the only strategic mind in this family, and she'd made one crucial mistake. She forgot who actually wrote our corporate bylaws. I was 18 when I drafted it. Fresh out of my first year at Yale watching mother orchestrate another hostile takeover. She'd had too much chablis at dinner and started monologuing about power, about how documents are weapons. Sophie. The person who writes the rules wins the war. So I wrote rules, hidden in subsection 47B of our corporate bylaws, wrapped in the kind of legal jargon that makes eyes glaze over, was my insurance policy. The stability clause. Any succession changes made during a medical emergency involving the current CEO required unanimous board approval and a 72-hour cooling period. If the CEO was hospitalized during the vote, all changes were automatically void pending independent medical review. Mother had signed it without reading. She always signed what I wrote. You're the smart one, she'd say, like it was a consolation prize for not being the pretty one. I drove home from the hospital as the sun rose over Mulholland Drive. My phone buzzed incessantly. Board members, executives, reporters who'd somehow already heard. The vultures were circling. But I had 72 hours. And I had something else mother never knew about. Chloe's real medical records. 3 months ago, Chloe had overdosed. Not enough to make headlines. Just enough to require a discreet visit to a private clinic in Malibu. I'd paid the bill, cleaned up the mess, held her hair back while she vomited champagne and Percocet. Please don't tell mother, she'd sobbed. She'll cut me off. She'll give everything to you. I'd promised. Stupid loyal Sophie. Always protecting everyone but herself. But promises made to sisters who steal your life's work are just words, aren't they? The board meeting was set for Thursday. I had 2 days to prepare. 2 days to decide if I wanted to destroy my sister or just reclaim what was mine. Astrid curled around my ankles as I pulled up the bylaws on my laptop. Such a smart cat. She always knew when something big was happening. I scratched behind her ears, remembering how Mother had tried to claim her too. Astrid photographs better with me, she'd said. Everything was about image with Mother. My phone rang. Chloe. Sophie, I need your help with the presentation. You know I'm not good with numbers. Not good with numbers. She was about to run a $500 million company and she couldn't read a P&L statement. Of course, I said. Send me everything. She did. Every document. Every password. Every piece of evidence I needed, including the timestamp showing she'd been at a club in West Hollywood until 3 a.m. the night Mother signed the papers. The same club where her dealer worked. The same dealer I'd been paying to disappear for 3 months. God, Chloe, you made this too easy. Wednesday morning, one day before the board meeting. I was driving to the office when a black SUV ran the red light at Sunset and Vine. I saw it coming, that slow motion moment when you know your life is about to change. I yanked the wheel hard right, tires screaming, and crashed into a concrete barrier. The SUV never stopped. My Tesla was totaled, my ribs bruised, but I was alive. And I was suspicious. The police said it was probably a drunk driver, but drinks drivers don't usually drive $100,000 vehicles with tinted windows and no plates. From my hospital bed, different from Mother's, smaller, less expensive, I made 3 calls. First, to my assistant. Pull all the security footage from the office. Everything from the last week. Second, to Davidson. I need to review the bylaws before tomorrow's meeting. All of them. Especially subsection 47B. Third, to my dealer contact. Chloe's dealer. We need to talk about your client. The blonde one. He texted back immediately. She owes me $50K. Said her sister would pay. Her sister. I laughed, even though it hurt my ribs. Of course she did. Thursday, 2 p.m. The boardroom smelled like leather and old money. 12 board members, all in their uniform of dark suits and darker intentions. Chloe sat at Mother's usual spot, wearing Mother's signature red, looking every inch the heir apparent. I walked in late, calculated, bruised, leaning slightly on a cane. I didn't really need, but that sold the story. Sophie, Chloe gasped. Oh my God, what happened? Car accident, I said, simply taking my seat. Advisory seat. For now, but I wouldn't miss this for anything. Davidson started his presentation. The restructuring. The new vision. Chloe as CEO. Me as consultant. The board nodded along. Already decided. Already paid off. Probably. Before we vote, I interrupted. Voice steady despite my racing heart. I'd like to review subsection 47B of our corporate bylaws. The room shifted. Davidson's face paled. What subsection? Chloe asked. I smiled. That same mirror practice smile. The stability clause. The one that voids any succession changes made during a medical emergency involving the current CEO. That's ridiculous. Davidson sputtered. Mrs. Whitmore was lucid. Was she? I pulled up my phone, projecting onto the boardroom screen. This is her medical chart. Morphine administered at 1:58 a.m. Signature obtained at 2:14 a.m. But here's the interesting part. I swiped to the next image. Security footage. This is Chloe at Chateau Marmont at 2:14 a.m. timestamped. Geotagged. Posted on her own Instagram story, though she deleted it an hour later. The room erupted. Furthermore, I continued. Voice cutting through the chaos. The treating physician's notes indicate Mother was experiencing severe disorientation and confusion until 6 a.m. The legal definition of incapacitation. Chloe stood shaking. You vindictive bitch. No, I said quietly. Just thorough, like Mother taught me. The board had no choice. The bylaws were clear. The evidence was clearer. The succession change was void. But I wasn't done. There's one more matter, I said, pulling up another document. 3 months ago, our CFO flagged unusual withdrawals from the marketing budget. $50,000 here, $30,000 there, all authorized by Chloe. Those were for influencer partnerships. She protested. Were they? I looked at her steadily. Or were they for this? I played the recording. Her dealer's voice, clear and damning. talking about pills, about debts, about the client who promised her sister would pay. Chloe's perfect face crumbled. Sophie, please. You tried to have me killed. I said simply. What? No. The accident. I didn't. The SUV was rented using a marketing department credit card. Your authorization code. She collapsed into her chair. The board members looked between us like spectators at Wimbledon. I move, said Mr. Chen, our longest-serving board member, to name Sophie Whitmore as interim CEO, pending Mrs. Evelyn Whitmore's recovery. Shilland, said three voices simultaneously. The vote was unanimous. Even Chloe, broken and sobbing, raised her hand. Mother woke up properly 3 days later, clear-eyed, sharp, furious. You destroyed your sister, she said when I visited. Astrid was curled on her hospital bed, having somehow snuck in despite the no pets policy. No, I replied. She destroyed herself. I just documented it. The company is up 12% since I took over. The board is thrilled. The scandal is contained. Chloe's in rehab. A nice one. I'm paying. Mother studied me. Really looked at me for maybe the first time in my life. You planned this. I planned for this. I corrected. There's a difference. You taught me to be prepared. I've been prepared since I was 18. The stability clause. You signed it. August 15, 2004. Right after the Berkshire acquisition. She laughed. Actually laughed. It turned into a cough. But still. You're more like me than I thought. No, I said, standing to leave. I'm better. Because I don't need to destroy my daughters to feel powerful. 6 months later. Mother was home, walking with a cane, refusing to retire. We'd reached a detente. She remained chairman. I remained CEO. Chloe remained in therapy, posting motivational quotes about growth and accountability. The company thrived. The products sold. The empire stood. But families are harder to fix than companies. We had dinner once a month. Forced. Formal. Astrid would sit on Mother's lap. The traitor, purring while we picked at salmon, and pretended we weren't all calculating our next moves. I never wanted this, Chloe said one night, wine making her honest. The company, the pressure, I just wanted you to see me. I saw you, Mother replied coldly. I saw everything. Your weakness, your addictions, your failures. And Sophie, Chloe asked, what did you see in her? Mother's pause was long. Too long. Competition. There it was. The truth of us. She didn't see daughters. She saw threats and opportunities. Chess pieces in designer clothing. You know what I see, I said, surprising myself. By speaking, I see 3 women who were taught that love was a zero-sum game. That there wasn't enough success, enough approval, enough anything for all of us. So we fought over scraps while building an empire. Spare me the therapy speak, Mother snapped. It's not therapy speak. It's math. Our company is worth $500 million. We spent 30 years destroying each other for control of it. What's the ROI on family destruction, Mother? What's the market value of daughters who can't trust each other? Silence. Even Astrid stopped purring. Last week, Mother called me to her office. The original office, the one with the view of the Hollywood sign, and the photos of us from before we learned to hate each other. I'm dying, she said simply. Mother, no dramatics. My doctor gives me a year, maybe 2. The stroke was a warning. My body's done warning me. I sat down hard. Despite everything, despite it all, she was still my mother. I need to know the company will survive, she continued. That everything I built won't crumble the moment I'm gone. It won't. Even with Chloe, I thought about my sister, 6 months sober, working part-time in product development, actually good at it when she wasn't trying to be me, especially with Chloe. Mother pulled out a document. New bylaws, new succession plan, equal partnership between us, true shared power. You could take everything, she said. I'm giving you the choice. Sign this. Share with your sister, or keep what you won. You've earned the right to choose. The pen was heavy in my hand. Heavier than the company. Heavier than the years of resentment. I thought about that 18-year-old girl, writing escape clauses into bylaws. I thought about the woman I'd become. Powerful, successful, alone. I signed. I'm telling you this story from my office. Mother's old office. Soon to be our office. Mine and Chloe's. She doesn't know yet. Tomorrow I'll tell her. Tomorrow we'll either begin to heal or finish destroying each other. Astrid is sleeping on my desk. 20 years old now. Ancient in cat years. She purrs when I pet her. the same purr she's had since I was 12, and needed something to love that wouldn't judge my imperfections. Mother was wrong about one thing. Documents aren't weapons, they're tools. The weapon is the person willing to use them, and the real power, it's knowing when not to. My phone buzzes. A text from Chloe. Coffee tomorrow. I have an idea for the spring line. I text back, your office or mine? She sends a heart emoji. We're not there yet, the place where sisters send hearts and mean them, but we're trying. The company is worth $500 million. My relationship with my sister, priceless, or worthless. Depends on the day, depends on whether you think love can be rebuilt from legal documents and good intentions. Tell me, if your mother gave you the power to destroy your sister or save her, which would you choose? And would you be able to live with either decision? Because I'm living with mine, every day in this office that smells like her perfume and my ambition. Some victories taste like champagne, others taste like morphine and regret, like hospital coffee and broken trust. Mine tastes like all of them at once. But at least it's mine, ours. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's all we ever really wanted anyway, to be enough. What would you have done? Drop your thoughts below. Because this story isn't just mine, it's every daughter who was taught to compete instead of connect, every sister who was given a scoreboard instead of support. And if you're reading this, mother, know that I love you. Even if you'll never believe it, even if love to you will always look like weakness with lipstick on.